is a very huge country, and it's got multiple kinds of people. The layers are multiple, and so I wouldn't think that there is a single truth to being a single kind of a nation, that it's a purely spiritual nation or a purely violent nation. I think, like all countries anywhere in the world, it's a mixture of spirituality and violence, and the idea is to strike a balance between the both. I'm sure it means the same like it is anywhere in the world, but except that because of the way the country is, I mean, we have this very long tradition of patriarchy. So women have always been made to feel that they're second-class citizens, but then I'm told that's how many women in Europe as well feel. So it's not really about just the 2,000-year-old tradition that we've been talking about. It is not easy to be a woman in India, especially in this contemporary time and age, because, you know, on the one hand, the woman is educated and she is very aware of her rights and of her position. On the other hand, because of the kind of tradition that she lives within, she constantly has to fight for her place. And it doesn't matter whether you are the CEO of a company or whether you are somebody who is just a homemaker. The needs of a woman are the same, and the demands made on her are the same. Have tried to abolish all caste system, but the truth remains, and it's a very sad truth, that the caste system is still quite prevalent and very strong, especially in the middle class and the rural communities. The reason being, it's also a question of many societal traditions. So the members of one caste follow a certain kind of tradition, and if they were to associate with another caste person, there are all kinds of practices that are not followed. For instance, if there is a Brahmin is a vegetarian, but you have a Kshatriya is a non-vegetarian. So the food patterns, the clothing styles, everything, every little detail is determined by the caste that you're from. And in the upper classes, in the educated elite classes, people manage to shrug aside the caste differences. But we are a huge nation with a huge population, and it's impossible to kind of eradicate the caste system overnight. It's going to take probably another 200 years before the caste system probably becomes less stronger than it is today. And there is nothing politicians or the constitution can do. It has to come from the people themselves. Again, like the caste system, religion has a very significant role to play in Indian society. It's a question, it's not just about, you know, which god you worship. It's also again about what is the community spirit you have and what are the beliefs of that particular religion. So in fact, in India, for instance, the Muslims of India have a separate legal system that they follow, unlike the rest of the country. That's because we've always believed that we are a country that is inclusive of all religion. So religion has a very strong role to play. And what I like is that the younger generation now are becoming not religious as much as spiritual. There is a certain spiritual element that is coming into them, but religion is ceasing to be of great significance. But the problem is that we have another 20-25 years to go before religion becomes less dominant in our society. I think increasingly we in the society seem to divide ourselves into every kind of segregations we can think of. We seem to call ourselves men, women, white, black, brown, yellow, rich, poor, etc. In a strange and a very naive way, I believe in a classless society. I believe in a society where everybody is equal and where everybody is like family. In India, we have this great philosophy which is called Vasudeva Kudumpakam, which means the world is my family. And this is something that I have believed in, that everywhere I go, I see people as my own and I don't see them as different. And I think the moment you start doing that, there is lesser problems in our mind about acceptance and how we are accepted and how we accept another person, no matter what they do. So I would think the greatest advice I would have to any person living is to just open your heart and take in the world.